The rain had not stopped for 3 days. It hammered against the pavement like bullets fired from heaven. Each drop exploded on contact with the cracked asphalt of East Michigan Avenue. Each drop added to the flood that turned gutters into rivers. Each drop reminded 17-year-old Liam Carter that the world did not care if he lived or died. He pressed himself deeper into the doorway of an abandoned pawn shop. The awning above him sagged under the weight of accumulated water. It could collapse at any moment. But it was dry here, mostly dry, and dry was all that mattered when you had been wet for 72 hours straight. Liam's stomach cramped with hunger, not the kind of hunger that makes you think about lunch, the kind that makes you wonder if your body is eating itself from the inside out. 48 hours since his last real meal. The half-eaten burger he had found behind the McDonald's on Gratiot Avenue did not count. That was survival. That was shame wrapped in soggy bread and congealed grease. He pulled his jean jacket tighter around his thin frame. The denim was soaked through. It clung to his shoulders like a second skin. He could feel his ribs through the wet fabric. 3 months on the streets had carved away everything soft about him. His face was all angles now. Sharp cheekbones, hollow eyes, the kind of face that made people look away. Across the street, neon flickered through the rain. Half the letters were dead, but Liam could make out enough. The Iron Horse, a roadhouse. The kind of place where questions were not asked and nobody looked twice at a wet kid seeking warmth. He hesitated. Places like this had rules. Invisible lines you did not cross. He had learned that lesson at a bar in Hamtramck 2 weeks ago. The bouncer had thrown him out before he even made it past the door, called him street trash, told him to find a shelter. But the shelters were worse than the streets. At least out here, nobody stole your shoes while you slept. Nobody put their hands on you in the dark. Nobody made you pray before they fed you stale sandwiches in judgment. The Iron Horse looked different, though. The motorcycles lined up outside told him that. Dozens of them, Harleys mostly, chrome gleaming even in the rain. Each one parked with military precision. Each one a statement of power and belonging. Liam did not belong anywhere. He had not belonged anywhere since the day his mother died. 5 years ago. 5 years that felt like 50. He could still hear the sound she made when the bullet hit her. That wet gasp, like all the air leaving her body at once. He could still see her eyes finding his across the stairwell. Love and terror and something else. Something that looked like apology. Run, baby. Run and do not stop. So he ran, and he had been running ever since. But tonight he was tired. Tonight his legs would not carry him another block. Tonight he needed somewhere warm, or he would die out here in the rain, and nobody would even notice until the smell got bad. Liam pushed off from the doorway. His sneakers squelched against the wet pavement as he crossed Michigan Avenue. The neon sign buzzed overhead. One of the letters sparked and went dark. Now it just said Iron Horse, like a sick animal. His hand trembled as he reached for the door handle. Chrome, cold even through the rain. You going in or what? Liam spun around. A man in a trucker cap stood behind him. Cigarette dangling from his lips. Impatience carved into every line of his weathered face. Rain ran off the brim of his hat in a steady stream. Sorry, Liam heard his own voice, thin, apologetic, the voice of someone who was used to apologizing for existing. He pulled the door open and slipped inside before the man could say anything else. The smell hit him first. Stale beer, fried food, decades of cigarette smoke baked into every surface. Underneath it all, something else. Leather, motor oil, the scent of men who worked with their hands and did not apologize for it. The jukebox in the corner played something old. Hank Williams, maybe. Or George Jones. The kind of country music that sounded like it was recorded in a different century. The singer's voice crackled through speakers that had seen better days. Liam found a corner booth with torn vinyl seats and slid in. He made himself as small as possible, pulled his hood up, crossed his arms over his chest, focused on not shaking. The waitress appeared out of nowhere. Mid-50s, tired eyes that had seen everything twice. Her name tag read Diane in faded black letters. She held an order pad like a weapon. Get you something. It was not a question. Just water, please. Diane looked at him for a long moment. Her eyes traveled from his wet hair to his soaked jacket to his muddy sneakers. Liam braced himself for what always came next. The demand to order something real or get out. The threat to call someone. The look of disgust that usually preceded his ejection from places like this. Instead, she sighed. Kitchen is about to close. You want some fries? On the house. Liam blinked. His throat tightened. He had not heard kindness in so long that it felt like a foreign language. I, yeah. Thank you. Do not thank me yet. They have been sitting under the heat lamp for an hour. She walked away without waiting for a response. Her orthopedic shoes squeaked against the linoleum floor. Liam let his gaze drift around the room while he waited. Truckers, mostly, scattered across booths and bar stools, nursing beers and avoiding conversation. A couple in the back argued in whispers that occasionally broke into hisses. Near the pool table, two men chalked cues and circled the green, felt like predators sizing each other up. And then he saw her. At the far end of the bar sat a woman who did not belong. Not because she looked out of place, but because she looked like she had always been there, like she was part of the building itself, permanent as the foundation. She was old, 70 at least, maybe more. Silver hair tucked under a faded red bandana, dark skin weathered by sun and time and things Liam could not imagine. But it was the vest that caught his attention. Leather, worn soft with age, patches covering nearly every inch. Even from across the room, Liam could make out the details. At the top, a rocker that read Iron Wolves MC in white letters on black fabric. At the bottom, another rocker, Detroit. And in the center, dominating everything else, a wolf's head with angel wings spread wide. The kind of image that belonged on a church ceiling or a tattoo or both. She sat perfectly still, coffee cup cradled in weathered hands, eyes fixed on something beyond the rain-streaked windows. Something far away. Something only she could see. Mama Ruby, you want to warm up? The bartender was big, 6'4" at least, bearded like a brush fire. Tattoos climbing up both arms in swirls of black and gray. He held up a coffee pot. Steam rose from the spout. The old woman shook her head once. Slow and deliberate. I am fine, Bobby. Just waiting. Waiting for what? She smiled, but it did not reach her eyes. The thing I have been waiting for since 1973. Bobby laughed like she had told a joke, but something in the sound rang hollow. He moved on to other customers, left her alone with her cold coffee and distant stare. Liam could not explain why he kept watching her. Maybe it was the stillness. The way she sat like a stone in a stream while chaos flowed around her. Maybe it was the patches on her vest, the history they represented, the stories they told without words. Or maybe it was something else entirely. Something that felt like recognition, even though he had never seen her before in his life. Diane returned with the fries. They were cold, soggy, absolutely perfect. Liam ate slowly, savored each one, made them last because he did not know when the next meal would come. Salt and grease and the taste of mercy. That is when the door opened. Three men walked in, not truckers, not locals. Their leather was too new, their boots too clean, their eyes too sharp. They wore black from head to toe, and they moved with a coordination that spoke of practice, of purpose, of men who had done this before. They did not sit down. They did not order anything. They just spread out, one near the door, one by the pool table, one drifting toward the bar. Liam's stomach tightened. The fries turned to lead in his gut. He had seen men like this before, in shelters, on street corners, in the moments before everything went wrong. They were not here for beer and company. They were here for something else. Mama Ruby noticed them too. Liam could tell by the way her spine straightened, almost imperceptibly. The way her left hand drifted toward the napkin holder beside her coffee cup. The way her eyes finally came back from whatever distant place they had been visiting. Bobby. Her voice cut through the jukebox like a blade. Bobby turned from wiping down the bar. His face went pale. You got my package behind the counter. The bartender's voice came out strangled. Mama Ruby, I do not think, was not asking what you think, son. Asked if you got my package. Bobby reached under the bar, produced a brown paper bag, slid it across the wood toward her. The bag crinkled, heavy with something metal. Mama Ruby's hand disappeared inside, came out gripping cold steel. A revolver, blue-black metal that caught the neon light and turned it into something deadly. Liam's breath caught in his throat. The man by the pool table was watching her now. His fingers tapped against his thigh in a rhythm that matched Liam's heartbeat. Fast, irregular, building towards something. The old woman's voice dropped to a whisper that somehow carried across the room. Been a long time since anyone tried something this stupid in my house. The pool table man smiled. No warmth in it. Your house, old woman? You do not own anything anymore. Not this bar, not this city, not even that dusty vest you are wearing. Mama Ruby's eyes blazed. Boy, I was bearing men like you before your mama learned to walk. Times changed. He pulled back his jacket. revealed the pistol tucked into his waistband. Old dogs get put down. Everything happened at once. The jukebox clicked to a new song, something slow and mournful. The couple in the back booth stopped arguing and ducked below the table. Bobby the bartender hit the floor behind the counter so fast Liam barely saw him move, and the first shot shattered the television above the bar. Liam threw himself sideways, crashed out of the booth and onto the sticky floor. His ears rang from the gunshot. His vision swam with adrenaline and fear. Glass rained down from somewhere above, the neon beer sign exploding in a shower of sparks and colored shards. More shots. 3, 4, 5. He lost count. Screams tangled with the sound of breaking bottles. Splintering wood, the thunder of boots as people scrambled for cover or ran for exits that might as well have been miles away. He pressed himself flat against the floor, cheek against the cold, dirty tile, watched everything unfold in fragments through table legs and overturned chairs. The man by the door had a gun out now, firing at someone behind the bar. The pool table man was moving toward Mama Ruby, his own weapon raised. The third shooter Liam could not see, could only hear the crack of his pistol somewhere off to the right. And Mama Ruby was fighting back. The old woman moved faster than anyone her age had a right to move. She flipped the bar stool beside her into the path of the pool table man, bought herself a precious second. Her hand came up with the revolver from the paper bag. She squeezed off 2 shots that punched holes in the wall inches from his head. That all you got? Send your whole crew next time, you cowards. But she was outgunned, outmanned, and she knew it. The pool table man recovered, took aim, fired. Liam saw it happen in slow motion. The bullet caught Mama Ruby in the left shoulder, spinning her half around, sending her crashing into a row of bar stools. She hit the floor hard, revolver skittering away across the tile, blood already spreading beneath her. She groaned, a sound so human, so vulnerable. Something inside Liam cracked wide open. He had heard that sound before. 5 years ago, in a stairwell that smelled like mold and copper, his mother crumpling against the railing, looking at him with eyes that held more love than fear, even as the life drained out of them. Run, baby, run, and do not stop. He had run. He had run so fast and so far that he had never stopped running. Not really, not even when he slept, because his dreams always brought him back to that stairwell, that sound, that look in her eyes. But tonight he could not run. I cannot. The words came out as a whisper. He did not know if he was talking to his mother's ghost or to himself. I cannot leave her. Liam crawled forward on his belly, moving through spilled beer and broken glass that bit into his palms like tiny teeth. The shooting had slowed. The men were shouting to each other now, coordinating, hunting. Someone was reloading near the door. 20 feet to Mama Ruby. 15. 10. He could see her clearly now, silver hair matted with blood and beer, face pale as paper, chest rising and falling in shallow, desperate hitches. Her eyes were open, staring at the ceiling, alive but fading. Hey. Liam reached her side, grabbed her arm. The leather vest was slick with blood. Hey, can you hear me? We got to move. Her head turned toward him, slowly, like it took all her remaining strength. Those gray-blue eyes sharp even through the pain, fierce even through the fear, locked onto his face with an intensity that made his skin prickle. You. Her voice came out as a rasp, broken glass wrapped in whiskey. You are real. What? Lady, come on, I thought I dreamed you. She laughed, or tried to. It came out as a wet cough. All these years I thought she lied. Who lied? What are you talking about? A bullet slammed into the bar above their heads, showering them with wood splinters. Liam flinched, covered his head with his arms. Leave me, Mama Ruby hissed, grabbed his wrist with surprising strength. Get out while you can. Not happening. He hooked his arms under hers and started dragging. Her weight was more than he expected. Small woman, maybe 5'2", 100 pounds soaking wet, but she felt heavier than anyone he had ever carried. The weight of history, maybe. The weight of all those patches. Which way? They got a back door. Kitchen. But my bike? Forget the bike. No. Her grip tightened, nails digging into his skin. Keys are in my vest. Pocket. Left side, take them. Lady, you have been shot. Her eyes blazed. Boy, I have been shot before, been stabbed, beaten, left for dead in places you cannot even imagine. A bullet will not kill me. But if you do not get those keys and get us to that bike in the next 60 seconds, those men will kill us both. Liam's hands shook as he fumbled inside her vest. His fingers closed around cold metal. Keys attached to a ring with a tiny wolf charm that matched the patch over her heart. Got them. Good. Now help me up. He pulled her to her feet. Her weight sagged against him. She was smaller than he realized, lighter. But she felt like she carried the world on her shoulders, and now that world was pressing down on both of them. They staggered toward the kitchen door, Mama Ruby's boots dragging across the floor, leaving smears of blood in their wake. Behind them shouting, footsteps, the click of fresh magazines being slammed home. There. The kids got the old lady. Do not let them leave. Boss said no witnesses. Liam hit the kitchen door with his shoulder. It flew open, revealed a cramped space of stainless steel and grease traps. A back exit glowing red on the far wall. Almost there. Move, boy. Mama Ruby's voice was weaker now. Do not you dare slow down. He half carried, half dragged her through the kitchen. Pots clattered off counters. His foot caught on a floor mat, nearly sent them both sprawling. He caught himself, kept moving, kept her upright, hit the exit bar and burst into the night. Rain slammed into his face like a fist. The parking lot stretched before them, a field of puddles and gravel and motorcycles gleaming in the storm's electric light. Dozens of bikes, all lined up like soldiers waiting for orders. Which one? Red one. Angel wings on the tank. He spotted it. A vintage Harley. Cherry red with wings painted in gold across the gas tank. It sat at the end of the row, separated from the others, like it was too important to park with the common machines. They had made it 10 feet from the door when the shouting began behind them. There, get them. Liam did not look back. Could not. If he looked back, he would see the guns. He would see the death chasing them. He would freeze up like he froze in that stairwell 5 years ago. And then they would both die in this parking lot, and nothing would ever change. He hoisted Mama Ruby onto the Harley seat, her head lolled against his shoulder, her breathing wet and labored. You know how to ride? The words came out slurred, fading. I have seen people do it. That is not the same thing. It is going to have to be. Liam swung his leg over the bike, jammed the key into the ignition, twisted. The engine roared to life, a sound so loud and angry that it drowned out even the thunder. A sound that said, I am here and I am not backing down. A bullet sparked off the chrome exhaust pipe, inches from his leg, close enough to feel the heat. Liam kicked the bike into gear, felt it lurch beneath him like a living thing, and twisted the throttle with everything he had. The Harley screamed down Michigan Avenue, rain lashing Liam's face until he could barely see. Mama Ruby slumped against his back, her arms wrapped around his waist in a grip that weakened with every passing mile. Stay awake, he shouted over the wind. You hear me? Stay awake, boy. Her voice was fading, thin as smoke. There is something I need to tell you. Tell me later, after a doctor looks at you. No. Now, she coughed. He felt something warm and wet soak through the back of his jacket. Blood. Too much blood, in my vest, in her pocket. There is a picture. I do not care about a picture. You will. Her grip loosened another degree. When you find it, everything will make sense. Everything. Your mama. Everything she died for. Liam's blood went cold. How do you know about my mama? But Mama Ruby did not answer. Her arms slipped from his waist. He had to grab her wrist with one hand to keep her from falling off the bike entirely. He spotted the hospital sign through the sheets of rain, blue and white, glowing like a lighthouse. He took the exit ramp too fast, felt the rear tires slide on the wet pavement, somehow kept them upright through sheer terror and dumb luck. The emergency entrance blazed ahead. He killed the engine and half fell, half climbed off the bike, caught Mama Ruby before she could crumple to the ground. Help, his voice cracked, raw from screaming into the wind. Somebody help, she has been shot. For one eternal moment, nothing happened. The world held its breath. The rain kept falling, the night kept pressing in, and Liam stood there holding a dying woman he did not know, covered in her blood, waiting for someone to care. Then the doors flew open. Nurses in scrubs rushed out with a gurney, their voices cutting the night with codes and commands Liam did not understand. Hands pulled Mama Ruby away from him, so many hands, moving so fast, and then she was gone, swallowed by the white light and sterile chaos of the trauma bay. Liam stood in the rain, blood on his hands, blood on his jacket, blood mixing with the water that streamed down his face and into his mouth, tasting like copper and salt and something he could not name. That is when he remembered what she said. In my vest, in her pocket. There is a picture. He had left the vest on her. The nurses had taken it with her, Whatever secret she had been trying to share it had disappeared behind those swinging doors. Son, a security guard was approaching, hand on his radio, concern and suspicion warring on his face. You the one who brought that woman in? Liam nodded, unable to speak. You involved in whatever happened to her? I I do not know. I do not know anything. Well, you better figure it out fast, the guard gestured toward the parking lot, because something tells me this night is not over yet. 2 hours later, Liam sat in a plastic chair in the waiting room, still damp, still shaking, still trying to make sense of what had happened. The police had questioned him twice. He told them everything, the bar, the shooters, the escape. Everything except the way Mama Ruby had looked at him. The way she had said, I thought she lied. I thought I dreamed you. The way she had mentioned his mother. The vending machine in the corner hummed. The television mounted on the wall played the news on mute. Traffic reports, weather, a feel-good story about a dog rescue. Normal life. Life that did not include bullets and blood and old women in leather vests carrying secrets. The doors from the trauma wing opened. A doctor emerged, exhaustion carved into every line of his face. Behind him, Liam caught a glimpse of Mama Ruby on a gurney, machines beeping. Tubes running everywhere. She is stable, the doctor said to the officers clustered nearby. Lost a lot of blood, but she is a fighter. We will know more in the next few hours. Relief flooded through Liam. Relief he had no right to feel. He did not know this woman. She was a stranger, a biker, someone his mother had apparently known, but in my vest, in her pocket. He stood up before he realized he was moving. Excuse me, the woman they brought in. Her vest, is it still with her? The doctor frowned. Her personal effects are being processed. Wait, Paul, there is something in the pocket, something she wanted me to see. Are you family? Liam stopped. Number one, I do not know. Maybe. The doctor's frown deepened. A police officer stepped forward. The older one with gray at his temples and lines around his eyes that spoke of too many nights like this one. Kid, who are you really? Liam Carter. I told you already. You told us your name. That is not the same as telling us who you are. Before Liam could answer, a sound rolled through the building, a deep rumbling thunder that had nothing to do with the storm outside. It built slowly, growing louder, until the windows began to vibrate in their frames. The security guard near the entrance pressed his face to the glass. Mother of God, Liam turned. The parking lot had transformed. Where there had been empty spaces and scattered cars, now there were motorcycles. Dozens of them, scores of them. They poured in from the access road in tight formation, headlights slicing through the rain like searchlights, engines growling in chorus that sounded like war drums or prayers or both. 98 bikes. He would learn that number later. Count them one by one. 98 men and women in leather and denim. Patches flashing in the fluorescent glare of the hospital's exterior lights. Iron Wolves MC. They came for their matriarch. They came for Mama Ruby. And when their president dismounted from his black Road King and strode toward the hospital entrance, Liam felt the earth shift beneath his feet, because he had seen that face before. In a photograph his mother had kept hidden in a shoebox under her bed. In the only picture of his father he had ever seen. The automatic doors slid open. He stood 6'3", shoulders broad enough to fill the frame, beard shot through with gray, eyes like chips of winter ice. His leather vest bore the same patches as Mama Ruby's. The wolf's head, the angel wings, but his carried additional rockers across the chest. One word in white letters on black, Colt, and below it another, President. The waiting room went silent. Even the vending machine seemed to hold its breath. Colt scanned the space with military precision. Police officers, nurses, security guard frozen by the entrance. His gaze touched each face and dismissed it, searching for something specific. Someone specific. Then those ice blue eyes landed on Liam and stopped. For 3 heartbeats, neither of them moved. The world narrowed to a single point of connection. This massive, dangerous man and the homeless boy covered in his mother's blood. You. Colt's voice was deep, rough. A sound that had given orders and ended arguments for 40 years. You are the one who brought her in. Liam found his voice somewhere in the ruins of his courage. Yeah, she alive? They said she is stable. Barely. Colt crossed the room in 4 strides. Up close, the scars became visible. A white line across his jaw. A puckered circle on his left hand. The kind of marks that told stories Liam did not want to hear. What happened? Liam told him. The bar, the 3 men, the shots, the escape. His voice cracked twice, but he did not stop. Did not look away. Did not let himself flinch under that frozen stare. When he finished, Colt stood motionless for a long moment. Then he reached into his own vest and pulled out a photograph. This fell out of her jacket when the paramedics were working on her. One of my boys grabbed it before anyone else could see. He held it up, face toward Liam. Liam looked at the picture and forgot how to breathe. It was him, a younger version, 9 years old, smiling at the camera, standing beside a woman with dark hair and tired eyes. His mother. They were posed in front of a Christmas tree, ornaments catching the flash, paper crowns from crackers still tilted on their heads. He remembered that Christmas, the last one before everything fell apart, the last one before his mother stopped sleeping, stopped eating, stopped leaving the apartment except for quick trips that left her pale and shaking, the last one before she died. Turn it over. Colt's voice had changed. The command was gone, replaced by something raw and uncertain. Liam took the photo with trembling fingers, flipped it. On the back in his mother's handwriting, he would know those loops anywhere, the way she crossed her T's, the slight leftward slant. 2 sentences written in blue ink. For Colt, protect the boy. The silence stretched until it screamed. Liam looked up from the photo to find Colt staring at him with an expression he could not read. Grief maybe, or rage, or something older and deeper than either. Who are you? Liam whispered. I am the man your mother ran from 22 years ago. That does not answer my question. Colt's jaw tightened. Yeah, it does. Before Liam could respond, the trauma doors swung open again. A nurse emerged, frazzled and urgent. She is awake. She is asking for the one who brought her in. Every biker head in the room swiveled toward Liam. Colt's hand landed on his shoulder. Heavy, warm, inexorable. Then you better go see what she wants. Liam looked down at the photograph still clutched in his fingers. His mother's face smiled up at him from a Christmas 5 years gone. Protect the boy. Somehow she had known this moment would come. Somehow she had planned for it, left breadcrumbs across more than 2 decades, waiting for him to find his way here. But why? What had she done, and why did someone want him dead because of it? The answers were waiting behind those trauma doors. All he had to do was walk through. Liam Carter, 17 years old and homeless, who had spent 3 months sleeping under bridges and eating garbage, squared his shoulders, and took the first step toward a truth that had been hunting him since before he was born. Behind him, 98 bikers watched in silence. Whatever he learned in that room was going to change everything, for all of them. The trauma doors swung shut behind Liam, cutting off the rumble of voices and the weight of 98 stairs. His sneakers squeaked against the polished floor, leaving wet prints that stretched behind him like a trail of evidence. The photograph burned in his pocket, his mother's handwriting seared into his brain. For Colt, protect the boy. A nurse led him down a corridor that smelled of antiseptic and fear. Machines beeped behind closed doors. Somewhere a woman sobbed quietly. The fluorescent lights overhead flickered, casting shadows that moved when nothing else did. 5 minutes, the nurse said, stopping outside room 7. She is weak. Do not upset her. I will not. The nurse gave him a look that said she did not believe him, then walked away, her orthopedic shoes making soft padding sounds against the linoleum. Liam pushed open the door. Mama Ruby looked smaller than she had in the bar. The leather vest was gone, replaced by a hospital gown that swallowed her thin frame. Tubes ran from her arms to bags of fluid hanging above the bed. Monitors traced the stuttering rhythm of her heart in green lines that peaked and fell like tiny mountains. But her eyes, those gray-blue eyes that had blazed with fury in the bar, were open, waiting, fixed on the doorway like she had known exactly when he would appear. Close the door. Her voice was a rasp, sandpaper on wood. Liam obeyed. Come closer. I can barely see you from here. He crossed to her bedside, feet moving on autopilot. Up close he could see the toll the night had taken, the pallor beneath her weathered skin, the tremor in her hands, the way each breath seemed to cost her something precious. You came back. The words came out as a whisper. Most people would have run. I tried running once, Liam heard himself say. Did not work out. A ghost of a smile crossed her face. No, it never does. Silence stretched between them. Liam could hear his own pulse in his ears, could feel the photograph pressing against his thigh like a secret demanding to be told. You knew my mother. It was not a question. Mama Ruby's eyes glistened. Lydia Marie Carter, born September 3rd, 1979 in Hamtramck. Favorite color was yellow. Could not carry a tune to save her life, but she would sing anyway, every Sunday morning while she made pancakes. Liam's throat tightened. How do you know that? Because I was there every Sunday for 3 years. I do not understand. Mama Ruby's hand found his, her grip weak but insistent. Sit down, boy. This is going to take a minute. Liam pulled a chair to her bedside and sat. His legs were shaking. He had not noticed until now. Your mother came to us when she was 19. Showed up at the clubhouse one night, soaking wet, bloody lip. Nowhere to go. Some boyfriend had knocked her around. She needed somewhere safe. Mama Ruby paused, gathered strength. The Iron Wolves was safe. For her it was. She coughed, winced, continued. Colt took one look at her, and that was it. Love at first sight, though he would never admit it. Too proud, too scared of what it meant. Liam thought of the man in the waiting room, those ice blue eyes, that massive frame. Your mother and Colt were together for 4 years. Happiest I ever saw either of them. Then what happened? Mama Ruby's grip tightened on his hand. War happened, the kind that does not end with treaties and handshakes. The Serpent Syndicate. You heard them in the bar. Yeah, they have been trying to take over Detroit for 20 years. Drugs, guns, girls. Everything ugly they have got their fingers in it. What does that have to do with my mother? She was smart, your mama. Smarter than any of us. Worked in the office at a shipping company downtown. Brennan Shipping. Legitimate job. Good benefits. Mama Ruby's voice dropped. But that company, they were moving product for the Serpents, money mostly, cleaning it, sending it overseas, bringing it back sparkling clean. Liam leaned forward. She found out. She found proof. Documents, account numbers, names, everything you would need to burn that whole operation to the ground. And she gave it to the cops. Mama Ruby laughed bitterly. Boy, half the cops in this city are on the Serpent's payroll. She tried that route, almost got herself killed. After that, she took everything she had and she ran. When was this? Mama Ruby's eyes met his. Held, 22 years ago, right about the time you were born. The words hit Liam like a physical blow. He pulled his hand back, stood up, paced to the window and back, his mind racing, pieces falling into place that he did not want to see, patterns forming that he was not ready to accept. Colt, he said slowly, he is your father. Mama Ruby said it simply, like a fact, like something that had always been true and always would be. Your mother found out she was pregnant the same week she discovered what that shipping company was doing. She had a choice, stay and raise you in the middle of a war, or run and give you a chance at something normal. She chose to run. She chose you. Every time she chose you. Liam's eyes burned. He would not cry. He had not cried since the stairwell, since his mother's blood soaked through his shoes, since he ran until his lungs gave out and collapsed behind a dumpster 3 miles away. Does Colt know? Mama Ruby nodded slowly. He has known since the night she left. She wrote him a letter, explained everything, told him not to follow her, said if he loved her, he would let her go. And he did. What choice did he have? The Serpents had people everywhere. If he had gone after her, he would have led them right to her door. So he stayed, built the Iron Wolves up strong, waited for the day she would come back. She never did. No. Mama Ruby's voice cracked. 5 years ago, the Serpents finally found her. We do not know how. Maybe she got careless. Maybe somebody talked. All we know is what the news said. Woman shot dead in a stairwell. Robbery gone wrong. No witnesses. There was a witness, Liam whispered. Me. Mama Ruby went very still. What did you see? The memory crashed over him like a wave. The sound of footsteps. His mother's sudden fear. The way she had pushed him into the corner behind the door and told him to hide. The voices. The argument. The gunshot. 2 men, he said, his voice hollow. They were asking her about documents, files. She said she had destroyed everything. They did not believe her. What else? One of them had a tattoo, black serpent on his neck. Right here. He touched the side of his throat. Nana Rose's face went pale. A serpent. I did not know what it meant. I was 12. I just remembered the bird. And you never told anyone. Who would I tell? The cops wrote it off as a mugging. Foster care does not ask questions. And every time I tried to talk about what I saw, people looked at me like I was crazy, like I was making things up for attention. The heart monitor beeped faster. Mama Ruby pressed a hand to her chest, grimacing. Should I get the nurse? No, stay. She grabbed his wrist. There is more you need to know. The door burst open. Colt filled the doorway, his face a mask of barely controlled fury. We have got a problem. What kind? The kind that wears a badge. Detective Marcus Vaughn just showed up with 6 uniforms. He is demanding to take the boy into protective custody. Mama Ruby struggled to sit up. Marcus Vaughn? That snake. You know him? He has been on the Serpent's payroll for 15 years. If he gets his hands on Liam, that boy will not survive the night. Colt's eyes met Liam's, really met his, for the first time, without the barrier of strangers between them. Something passed in that look. Recognition, acceptance, a promise. How do we get out? Service elevator. Takes you down to the loading dock. Laundry delivery comes in through there. Mama Ruby looked at Liam. Can you walk? Boy, I can ride. Walking is for people without motorcycles. Despite everything, Liam felt his lips twitch. You are insane. I am your grandmother. Get used to it. The word hit him like a punch. Grandmother. He had a grandmother. He had a father. He had a family. Broken, dangerous, bound by blood and leather. But a family. We move now, Colt said. Rose, I am getting you a wheelchair. Liam, stay close to me. Do not talk to anyone. Do not look at anyone. Do not stop moving until I tell you to. What about the detective? Colt's smile was cold. Let me worry about Vaughn. He disappeared into the hallway. Liam heard him bark orders to someone. One of his bikers stationed outside the room. Footsteps pounded. Voices shouted back and forth. Liam. He turned back to Mama Ruby. She was pulling at her IV, trying to free herself from the tubes and wires that bound her to the bed. Help me up. You should not be moving. I will rest when I am dead. Right now I have got a grandson to protect. She grabbed his arm, used him as leverage, swung her legs over the side of the bed. That locket. You cannot go alone to get it. The Serpents will be watching the bank. They will have men inside, men outside, men on every corner. Then what do I do? You take backup. She met his eyes. You take your father. Father. The word felt foreign on his tongue, but something about it fit. Something about it felt right. Colt reappeared with a wheelchair. Behind him, 2 bikers in Iron Wolf's patches flanked the door, their eyes scanning the hallway like Secret Service agents. Time to go. Vaughn is on his way up. Liam helped Mama Ruby into the wheelchair. She was lighter than he expected, fragile in a way that made his chest ache. This woman had taken a bullet, had carried his photograph for 22 years, had kept his mother's secret when telling it would have been easier. Thank you, he whispered as he settled her into the chair. For everything. She grabbed his face with both hands, pulled him close, pressed a kiss to his forehead. You do not thank family, boy. You show up for them. The elevator doors opened at the end of the hall. A man stepped out, tall, thin, with the kind of face that looked like it had never smiled. His badge gleamed on his belt. His hand rested on his service weapon, and his eyes, cold, calculating, swept the corridor until they landed on Liam. There he is. Liam Carter. You are coming with me. Colt stepped between them. He is not going anywhere with you, Vaughn. This is police business. Step aside. Make me. The 2 men faced each other. Behind Vaughn, uniformed officers spread out. Behind Colt, bikers materialized from doorways and corners. The corridor transformed into a standoff. Tension thick enough to choke on. Liam's hand found the locket in his pocket. His mother's last gift. His inheritance. Detective. He stepped around Colt, heart pounding. What exactly am I being charged with? Vaughn's eyes narrowed. Nothing yet. But you are a material witness in a multiple homicide, and I have reason to believe your life is in danger. From who? From them. Vaughn jerked his chin toward the bikers. These people are not your friends, kid. They are criminals. Whatever they have told you, it is lies. Really? Liam pulled out the photograph. The one from Mama Ruby's vest. Then why did my mother leave this with instructions to find Colt if anything happened to her? Vaughn's face flickered, just for a second, but Liam caught it. Where did you get that? From her. He pointed at Mama Ruby. My grandmother. The woman those criminals in the bar shot while trying to protect me. That shooting is under investigation. By who? Your people? Liam stepped closer. Tell me something, detective. You knew my mother, did not you? Lydia Carter. She worked at Brennan Shipping before she disappeared. Vaughn's jaw tightened. I do not know what you are talking about. I think you do. I think you knew exactly what that company was doing. I think you helped cover it up. And I think you are here right now because someone told you I have evidence that could burn it all down. The corridor went silent. Vaughn's hand moved toward his gun. I would not, Colt said quietly. You are outnumbered, Vaughn, and even if you were not, killing the kid in front of 50 witnesses is not going to solve your problem. It is going to create about 100 new ones. This is not over. Number Colt smiled, and there was no warmth in it. It is just getting started. Vaughn held his ground for another long moment. Then he stepped aside, motioned for his officers to do the same. You have got 24 hours. Then I am coming for you with a warrant. And next time your biker friends will not be able to protect you. He turned and walked back to the elevator. His officers followed, casting nervous glances at the wall of leather and muscle lining the hallway. The doors closed. The tension broke. We need to move, Colt said, now before he calls for backup. They ran down the service corridor, into the freight elevator, through the maze of the hospital's lower levels, past laundry carts and supply closets and confused orderlies who pressed themselves against walls to let them pass. The loading dock was cold, dark, reeking of diesel and garbage, but waiting there. Engines idling were 5 motorcycles and a black van with blacked-out windows. Rose goes in the van. Colt ordered. 2 brothers ride with her. Liam, you are with me. Where are we going? Colt swung his leg over the Road King, kicked it to life. He looked at Liam over his shoulder. To find out what your mother died for. Liam climbed onto the back of the bike. His arms went around his father's waist, his father's, and held on as the motorcycle roared out of the loading dock and into the night. Behind them, the hospital shrank into the rain. Ahead of them, the city waited. And somewhere in that city, in a bank vault that had held its secrets for 22 years, the truth was finally ready to be told. The motorcycle tore through the rain-slicked streets of Detroit, weaving between late-night traffic and abandoned intersections. Liam pressed himself against Colt's back, feeling the older man's muscles tense and shift with every turn. Neither of them spoke. The roar of the engine said everything that needed saying. 20 minutes later, they pulled into an industrial district on the city's east side. Warehouses loomed in the darkness, their windows dark, their loading docks empty, the kind of place where people went when they did not want to be found. Colt killed the engine outside a building marked Stillwater Storage. A faded sign, rusted chains on the fence, but the gate swung open smooth and silent when one of the bikers punched a code into a hidden keypad. This is ours, Colt said, dismounting. Been an Iron Wolf safe house since before you were born. My mother knew about this place. She helped us buy it. Colt started toward the door. Come on, we need to talk before we hit that bank. Inside, the warehouse had been transformed. What looked abandoned from the outside was actually a fully functioning headquarters. Tables covered with maps, a kitchen stocked with supplies, cots lined up along one wall for brothers who needed a place to crash. The black van pulled in behind them. 2 bikers helped Mama Ruby out, easing her into a wheelchair they had grabbed from the hospital. She looked pale, exhausted, but her eyes still held that fierce spark. Get me to the table, she ordered, and somebody make coffee. This is going to be a long night. Colt spread a map across the main table. Detroit Savings and Trust sat in the financial district, 3 blocks from the river, surrounded by office buildings that would be empty at this hour. Bank opens at 9. That gives us about 7 hours to figure out how to get in and out without the serpents knowing. Why cannot I just walk in, Liam asked. I have got the account number. The lockbox is in my name. Because Vaughn already has people watching it. Mama Ruby wheeled herself to the table. The minute you step through those doors, they will know. And they will be waiting when you come out. So what do we do? Colt looked at him, really looked at him, with an intensity that made Liam want to step back. We create a distraction. One of the bikers stepped forward, a massive man with a shaved head and a scar running from his eyebrow to his chin. I can have 20 brothers outside that bank by dawn. Make some noise. Draw attention. That is not enough. Colt shook his head. Vaughn will call him back up. We need something bigger. The door opened. A young woman walked in. Mid-20s, dark hair pulled back in a ponytail, athletic build, sharp eyes that scanned the room with military precision. She stopped when she saw Liam. So you are him. Her voice was neutral, but something flickered across her face. Recognition, maybe. Or curiosity. Liam, Colt gestured to the woman. This is Sienna, your sister. The word hung in the air between them. Half-sister, Sienna corrected. Same father, different mothers. Liam stared at Colt. You have another kid? It is complicated. Seems like everything with you is complicated. Sienna almost smiled. He has got a point. I did not know about you, Colt said quietly. Not until 3 years ago. Sienna's mother. She was someone I knew before your mother, before the club. We had one night together and then she left. Never told me she was pregnant. Sounds familiar, Liam muttered. Yeah. Colt's jaw tightened. Apparently I have a type, women who run when things get hard. Sienna stepped closer. I grew up in California. My mom told me my father was dead. It was not until she passed away that I found letters she had never sent. About a biker in Detroit named Colt who did not know I existed. So you came looking. So I came looking. She studied his face. You look like him. Same stubborn chin. Great, another thing to blame him for. Mama Ruby laughed, then winced, pressed a hand to her bandaged shoulder. Lord, you two are going to be trouble. We are Colt blood, Sienna said. Trouble is in the DNA. Liam did not know what to feel. An hour ago he had been alone in the world. A homeless kid with no family, no future. No one who would notice if he disappeared. Now he had a father, a grandmother, a sister, and 98 bikers who had apparently adopted him into their ranks. It was too much, too fast. His legs buckled. Colt caught him before he hit the floor. Easy. When is the last time you ate? I do not remember. That is what I thought. Colt guided him to a chair. Stay here, I am getting you food. I do not need it. Was not a question. Colt's voice barked. You are my son. You do not get to starve yourself anymore. He left the room. Liam slumped in the chair, suddenly exhausted beyond measure. The adrenaline that had been carrying him for the past 12 hours was finally draining away, leaving nothing but hollow fatigue. Sienna sat down across from him. This is a lot, is not it? You could say that. I have been here 3 years. I am still figuring it out. She leaned forward. Can I give you some advice? Do I have a choice? Not really. Her eyes softened. Do not try to understand it all at once. Just take it one day at a time. One conversation at a time. One meal at a time. Is that what you did? It is what I am still doing. She glanced at Mama Ruby, who had closed her eyes, drifting into a light sleep. She is the key, you know, to all of it. Colt is tough, but she is the heart of this family. Everything good about the Iron Wolves, everything worth protecting, comes from her. Liam looked at the old woman in the wheelchair. Silver hair spread across the pillow, weathered face softened by sleep. She called me her hero. Back at the bar, I dragged her out. You were, I was just scared. I almost ran, but you did not. Sienna reached over and squeezed his hand. That is what matters, not the fear, the choice you made despite it. Colt returned with a tray of food, sandwich, chips, a bottle of water, set it in Liam's lap. Eat. Liam ate. The food was gas station quality, processed, barely edible, but it tasted like the best meal he had had in months, maybe years. Halfway through the sandwich, Sienna spoke again. I have been inside that bank. I know the layout. Colt turned. When? 6 months ago, I opened an account, pretended to be a grad student doing research on Depression-era architecture. She pulled out a notebook. Sketch quick lines. Main entrance here. Teller windows. Manager's office. Vault access requires employee escort. How do we get past that? We do not. Sienna looked at Liam. He walks in the front door, requests access, makes it obvious, while everyone is watching him. I go in through the service entrance. You have an inside man? Sienna smiled. I have got a maintenance worker who owes me a favor. Vietnam vet. Been on the Iron Wolves payroll for years, just in case we ever needed access. Colt nodded slowly. Your mother thought of everything. She learned from the best. Sienna met her father's eyes. From you. The plan came together over the next 3 hours. Details, timing, contingencies. Liam listened, watched, learned how a family of outlaws prepared for war. And it was war. Make no mistake. The Serpent Syndicate would not give up 22 years of searching without a fight. But neither would the Iron Wolves. Dawn broke gray and cold. The rain had finally stopped, leaving the city washed clean, or as clean as Detroit ever got. Liam stood in the warehouse doorway, looking at the line of motorcycles, each one a promise, each one a weapon. You ready? Colt appeared beside him, handed him a leather jacket. Iron Wolves colors. I cannot wear this. Yes, you can. You earned it last night, when you saved Mama Ruby. Liam took the jacket, slipped it on. The leather was heavy, warm. It smelled like oil and smoke and something else. Something that felt like belonging. Colt's hand landed on his shoulder. Your mother would be proud. How do you know? Because I know her and I know you. Colt turned to face him. You are Sarah's son. That means you do not run, you do not quit, and you do not let fear decide who you are. Liam looked at this man, this stranger, this father. I am scared. Good. That means you are smart. Colt squeezed his shoulder, but scared and brave are not opposites. Brave is being scared and doing it anyway. The convoy rolled out at 8:45, 20 bikes in front, drawing eyes, making noise. Liam and Sienna in a plain sedan 3 blocks behind. Anonymous. Invisible. They parked in an alley behind the bank. Sienna checked her watch. 9 minutes. You go in, request access. Keep them busy for at least 10 minutes. Long enough for me to get into position. And then you get to the vault, open the lockbox, take everything inside, and run like hell. What if something goes wrong? Sienna looked at him. Then you improvise. Like a colt. She smiled. It is what we do best. Detroit Savings and Trust occupied a corner lot 2 blocks from the river. Old stone facade. Brass fixtures polished to a mirror shine. The kind of bank that had been there forever and planned to be there forevermore. Liam walked through the front door at 9:03, 3 minutes after opening. Early enough that the lobby was still quiet, late enough that the staff would be settled into their routines. His heart hammered against his ribs. The leather jacket felt like armor, or a target, he could not decide which. The lobby was all marble and brass, echoing with footsteps and hushed voices. Tellers stood behind bulletproof glass. A security guard by the door gave Liam a long look, but did not stop him. Can I help you? A woman in a navy suit approached. Manager type, smile that did not reach her eyes. Her name tag read Patricia Holden in gold letters. I need to access a safety deposit box. Do you have your key and identification? I have the account number. Liam pulled out the slip of paper from his mother's locket. The ink had faded, but the numbers were still legible. Lockbox 77144. It should be in my name. Liam Carter. Patricia's smile flickered. Something passed through her eyes. Recognition or fear. Liam could not tell which. One moment, please. She walked to her desk, picked up a phone, spoke quietly, her back to Liam. The call lasted too long. 30 seconds became a minute became 2. Liam's hands began to sweat. Across the lobby, he caught a glimpse of movement. A man in a maintenance uniform pushing a cart. Sienna in disguise. She gave him the smallest nod, then disappeared through a door marked Employees Only. Patricia returned. The smile was gone. Mr. Carter, there seems to be a problem with your account. What kind of problem? I am not at liberty to discuss it here. If you will come with me to my office, we can... I am not going anywhere until you tell me what is going on. The security guards started moving toward them. Slow, casual, but purposeful. Mr. Carter, Patricia's voice hardened. I need you to come with me now. Liam looked past her, saw what she could not. 3 men entering through the front doors, not customers, not bank employees, black suits, government haircuts, eyes that swept the room like they owned it. His instinct screamed, run. But he had nowhere to go. The security guard blocked one exit. The 3 men blocked another. Patricia stood between him and the vault. He was trapped. The lead man pulled out a badge. FBI. The letters gleamed gold in the overhead lights. Liam Carter, we have been waiting for you. They led him to Patricia's office, a windowless room barely bigger than a closet. The lead agent closed the door. The sound echoed like a coffin lid shutting. Sit down. Liam remained standing. I will stand, the agent smiled. No warmth in it. I am Agent Rebecca Walsh, Federal Bureau of Investigation, Financial Crimes Division. She gestured to the chair. Please, this will be easier if you cooperate. Liam sat, not because she asked, but because his legs would not hold him much longer. Walsh leaned against the desk, arms folded, studying him like a specimen under glass. Do you know what is in safety deposit box 77144? No, do not lie to me, son. We know your mother opened that box 22 years ago. We know she deposited documents related to Brennan Shipping and its connection to organized crime. And we know someone has been trying very hard to get those documents before we could. Liam's mind raced. FBI, not Vaughn, not the Serpents, federal agents who actually gave a damn about justice. Or did they? If you know all that, why have you not opened the box yourself? Legal complications. The second agent spoke for the first time. Shorter, Asian, with glasses that made him look like an accountant. Your mother set up the account with specific instructions. Only 2 people can access it, her or her designated beneficiary upon her death. That is me. That is you. Walsh pushed off the desk. Which puts us in an interesting position, Mr. Carter. We have been building a case against the Serpent Syndicate for over a decade. Every time we get close, evidence disappears. Witnesses recant. Cops we thought we could trust turn out to be on the payroll. Detective Vaughn, among others. Walsh's eyes sharpened. You know about Vaughn? He tried to take me into custody last night. Called it protective. I am sure he did. The second agent pulled out a folder. Marcus Vaughn has been on our radar for years. Problem is, we cannot prove anything. Every lead we follow turns into a dead end. What does this have to do with me? Your mother's documents could change everything. Account numbers, transaction records, names of every dirty cop and politician and businessman who has been helping the Serpents operate in this city for the past 2 decades. Walsh leaned forward. If what she hid is what we think it is, we could take down the whole organization. Every single one of them. So open the box. We cannot. Not without your permission. And not without your help. My help. The Serpents know you are here, Mr. Carter. They have known since you walked through that door. Right now, there are men watching every exit, waiting for you to come out with whatever is in that box. Walsh's voice dropped. If we take you out the front, they will follow. If we take you out the back, they will follow. The only way this works is if they think they have won. What do you mean? The second agent stepped forward. We mean we let them catch you. Liam's blood went cold. You want to use me as bait. We want you to finish what your mother started. Walsh pulled out a small device, no bigger than a grain of rice. GPS transmitter. We inject it under your skin. We can follow you anywhere in the city. You want to chip me like a dog. We want to keep you alive. The agent's voice hardened. These men killed your mother. They have killed dozens of people to protect their operation. The only way to stop them is to catch them in the act. And the only way to do that is to give them what they want. What about the Iron Wolves? They are out there waiting for me. Your biker friends will have to sit this one out. The second agent shook his head. If they interfere, the Serpents will scatter. We will lose our chance, and you will be back to square one, looking over your shoulder for the rest of your life. Liam thought about Colt, about Mama Ruby, about the family he had just found after 17 years of being alone. I cannot just leave them hanging. You can if you want this to end. Walsh stepped closer. Your mother spent years gathering this evidence. She gave up everything, her home, her family, her life, to make sure it survived. Are you really going to let that sacrifice mean nothing? The words hit like a punch. Liam closed his eyes, saw his mother's face, heard her voice that last night telling him to run. She had run so he could live. She had hidden so he could be free. She had died so the truth could survive. What would she want him to do now? Okay, he said quietly. I will do it. The injection hurt less than he expected. A quick pinch, a moment of pressure, then it was done. Walsh showed him the tracking app on her phone, a blinking dot marking Liam's location in real time. We will be with you every step of the way. The moment they take you somewhere, we move in. You will not be alone. Liam nodded. His hands were shaking, but his voice was steady. Let us get this over with. They led him to the vault, a massive steel door, combination locks, the smell of old money and older secrets. A bank employee opened safety deposit box 77144 with a master key. Inside was a single manila envelope, thick with papers. Liam picked it up. It was heavier than he expected. The weight of history, the weight of his mother's sacrifice. That is it? Walsh asked. That is it. He did not open it, did not look inside, just tucked it under his arm and walked back through the bank. Past Patricia Holden and her nervous smile, past the security guard who would not meet his eyes, out into the morning sun. The street was busy now, traffic, pedestrians, the normal chaos of a city waking up. Liam walked slowly, making himself visible, making himself a target. He did not see the signal from Colt, did not see the bikers positioned at corners and rooftops, did not see Mama Ruby in the van half a block away watching through binoculars. What he saw was the black SUV that pulled up beside him. The door opened. Get in, kid. It was not Agent Walsh's voice. It was Detective Vaughn. Liam climbed in. The door slammed shut behind him. The SUV disappeared into traffic, carrying him and his mother's secrets toward a reckoning 22 years in the making. The SUV smelled like cigarettes and fear. Liam pressed himself against the leather seat. The manila envelope clutched to his chest, heart hammering so loud he was sure everyone in the vehicle could hear it. 3 men surrounded him, 2 in the front, 1 beside him in the back, all of them wearing black, all of them with the same dead eyes, and the one in the passenger seat, The one who had told him to get in had a tattoo on his neck, a black serpent. Relax, kid. The man beside him smiled, but there was no warmth in it. Nobody's going to hurt you, yet. Where are you taking me? Somewhere private. The boss wants to meet you. Who is your boss? The smile widened. You will find out soon enough. Liam's fingers found the spot on his arm where Walsh had injected the tracker. A tiny bump beneath the skin. His only lifeline. His only hope. Assuming the FBI was actually following. Assuming this was not all some elaborate setup. Assuming he was not about to die in a basement somewhere, just like his mother. The envelope. The man beside him held out his hand. Give it. No, the smile disappeared. That was not a request. I do not care. This is mine. My mother left it for me. The man's hand shot out, grabbed Liam by the throat. Not squeezing, not yet. But the threat was clear. Your mother is dead, kid. Has been for 5 years. Whatever she left in that box belongs to us now. So you can hand it over nice and easy, or I can take it off your corpse. Your choice. Liam could not breathe. The pressure on his windpipe was not enough to choke him, but it was enough to remind him how fragile his life had become. Okay, he gasped. Okay, just let go. The hand released. Liam sucked in air, coughing. Smart boy. The man snatched the envelope from his hands, tore it open, pulled out the contents, papers, dozens of them, spreadsheets, photographs, handwritten notes. He rifled through them, his expression shifting from satisfaction to confusion to something that looked almost like fear. What the hell is this? What? These are not... He flipped through more pages. These are copies, photocopies. Liam's blood went cold. What do you mean? I mean, someone already took the originals. The man grabbed Liam by the collar. Where are they? Where are the real documents? I do not know. I just opened the box and took what was inside. You are lying. I am not. I swear. The driver spoke without turning around. Vic, we got a problem. I know we got a problem. The kid is playing us. No, I mean, we got a problem. We are being followed. Vic twisted in his seat, peering through the rear window. I do not see anyone. Black sedan, 3 cars back. Been on us since the bank. Lose them. The SUV accelerated. Weaving between lanes, Liam was thrown against the door. Then the center console. Then back again. His stomach lurched. Still there, the driver said. Then get off the highway. Take the industrial route. The vehicle swerved onto an exit ramp. Liam caught a glimpse of a road sign. Xander Industrial Park. Before they plunged into a maze of warehouses and abandoned factories. Vic grabbed his radio. This is Unit 7. We got a tail. Requesting backup at the Xander location. Static crackled. Then a voice. Copy Unit 7. Backup en route. ETA 15 minutes. 15 minutes. That was how long Liam had before reinforcements arrived. 15 minutes to figure out how to survive this. The SUV skidded to a stop outside a building with boarded windows and a collapsing roof. Vic yanked Liam out of the vehicle, gun pressed to his spine. Move. They pushed him through a rusted door and into darkness. The air was thick with dust and decay. Somewhere water dripped in a steady rhythm. Liam's eyes adjusted slowly to the gloom. He could make out shapes. Old machinery. Broken pallets. The outline of a catwalk overhead. Sit. Vic shoved him into a metal chair. The legs scraped against concrete. And do not move. Liam sat, his eyes adjusting, his mind racing. The tracker was still in his arm. Walsh had to be following, had to be closing in. All he needed to do was buy time. Footsteps echoed through the warehouse. Slow, measured. Someone approaching from the shadows. Hello, Liam. The voice was familiar. Too familiar. Detective Vaughn emerged into a shaft of light filtering through a broken window. He was dressed differently now. No badge, no uniform. Just dark clothes and a smile that made Liam's skin crawl. Surprised to see me? You are supposed to be a cop. I am a cop. Just a very well-paid one. Vaughn pulled up a chair, sat across from Liam. You know I have been waiting for this moment for a long time. 22 years to be exact. You killed my mother? No. Vaughn shook his head. I gave the order. There is a difference as I did not pull the trigger myself. I had people for that. Rage boiled up in Liam's chest. He lunged forward. Vic's hand slammed him back into the chair. Easy, Vaughn said calmly. We are just talking, for now. I am going to kill you. With what? Your righteous anger? Vaughn laughed. Kid, I have been threatened by men twice your size and 3 times your age. They are all dead now. You want to know the secret? Liam said nothing. The secret is patience. Your mother had evidence that could have destroyed everything I have built, everything my partners have built, but she could not use it, not without exposing herself. So she hid it, waited, thought she could outlast us. She almost did. Almost is not good enough. Vaughn leaned forward, and now he held up the photocopies. Now I find out she was smarter than I gave her credit for. These are not the originals, which means somewhere out there the real documents are still waiting to burn us down. He met Liam's eyes. Where are they, Liam? Where did your mother hide the originals? I do not know. Wrong answer. Pain exploded across Liam's face. Vic had hit him, open-handed, but hard enough to split his lip. Blood filled his mouth. Let us try again. Vaughn's voice remained calm. Where are the originals? I told you, I do not know. I did not even know the lockbox existed until 2 nights ago. And yet you showed up at that exact bank, at that exact time, with that exact account number. Vaughn tilted his head. Someone told you. Someone who knows where the real documents are. Nobody told me anything. My mother left a note in a locket. That is all. A locket? Vaughn's eyes sharpened. What locket? Where is it? Liam's hand went automatically to his pocket. Empty. The locket was gone. Taken when they searched him in the SUV. Vaughn snapped his fingers. Vic produced the locket, chain dangling, silver catching the dim light. This? Vaughn examined it carefully, turning it over in his hands. The wolf head design. The delicate engravings. Your mother always did have a soft spot for those bikers. He pried it open, found nothing inside. The note was gone, crumpled somewhere in Liam's other pocket. There was something in here. A message. Where is it? Liam said nothing. His lip throbbed. His mind raced. Walsh had said they would move in when the serpents took him somewhere. But how long would that take? And what would Vaughn do to him in the meantime? Fine. Vaughn stood. We will do this the hard way. He pulled out his phone. Made a call. It is me. Yeah, I have got him. No, the lockbox was a decoy. Just photocopies. A pause. Listening. I know. We are working on it. Another pause. Vaughn's face darkened. Understood. He ended the call. Looked at Vic. The boss says no more games. Get the information. Whatever it takes. Vic pulled out a knife. The blade caught the light. 7 inches of steel that had seen use before. Wait. Liam's voice came out strangled. Wait, I will tell you where the originals are. Vaughn's eyebrows rose. You will, yeah, on one condition. You are not in a position to make conditions. Yes, I am. Liam straightened in the chair, ignoring the blood dripping down his chin. Because you need what is in my head more than you need me dead. Kill me now and you will never find those documents. But let me go and I will take you right to them. Vaughn studied him for a long moment. You are bluffing. Am I? My mother spent 22 years hiding that evidence. She moved us 6 times, changed our names twice, built an escape route so complicated that even your people could not follow it. Liam met his eyes. You think she would leave everything in one place? One lockbox? There is a backup, a second location. She told me about it before she died. Told me to only go there if something happened to the first hiding spot. Where? Let me go and I will show you. Vaughn laughed. You expect me to believe that? I expect you to be smart enough to know you are out of options. Liam held his gaze. Those photocopies are useless. The FBI is building a case against you. Agent Walsh told me this morning. They know about Brennan shipping. They know about the money laundering. They know about you. Something changed in Vaughn's expression. The amusement faded, replaced by something harder. What agents? Treasury Department, Walsh and Chen. They have been tracking the serpents for years. Liam leaned forward as much as Vic would allow. They have got enough to arrest you right now. The only reason they have not is because they are waiting for me to deliver the evidence that will put you away for life. Vic shifted uncomfortably. Boss, if the feds are really... Shut up. Vaughn's voice was ice. He is lying, trying to rattle us. Am I? Liam pulled out the crumpled note from his pocket, the one from the locket with his mother's handwriting. She left instructions, backup location, access codes, everything. But it is not in this note. It is in my memory. Kill me and you will never get it. Vaughn stared at the note, at Liam, at the blood on his chin and the defiance in his eyes. You are just like her. Same stubbornness, same stupid courage. She thought she could outrun us too. She did outrun you for 22 years. And even dead, she is still winning. The slap came faster than Liam could react. His head snapped sideways. Stars exploded behind his eyes. Do not get cocky, kid. Vaughn stood. You want to play games? Fine, we will play. He nodded at Vic. Put him in the van. We are going for a ride. They dragged Liam to his feet and out a side door. A cargo van waited. Engine running. 2 more men stood beside it. Reinforcements who had arrived while Liam was inside. 5 against 1 now. No weapons, no allies, no plan. Just a tracker under his skin and a prayer that someone was watching. They threw him in the back of the van. Vic climbed in after him, gun never wavering. Where to, boss? Storage unit on Lafayette. The kid says his mother rented it under a fake name. What fake name? Liam made it up as he went. Sarah Mitchell, Unit 1147. Vic relayed the information to the driver. The van lurched into motion. Liam closed his eyes. Every second they drove was another second for the FBI to track him. Another second for Colt to figure out what had happened. Another second closer to either rescue or death. The van stopped. Vic grabbed Liam's arm and yanked him out. They stood in front of a storage facility. Rows of orange doors stretching into the distance. The smell of rust and old cardboard hanging in the air. Find Unit 1147, Vaughn ordered. The kid goes in first. They marched him through the facility, past units labeled with numbers climbing toward 1147. Liam's mind raced. There was no Unit 1147. There was no Sarah Mitchell. There was nothing here but his desperate lie and the seconds ticking away. Here, one of the men pointed. Unit 1147. The door was locked with a combination padlock. Open it, Vaughn said. I do not know the combination. You said your mother told you everything. She told me the location. The combination is written somewhere else. In the original documents. Vaughn's face darkened. Cut the lock. Bolt cutters appeared. The padlock snapped. The door rolled up. Inside. Empty. Nothing but concrete floor and dust in the echo of 22 years of planning collapsing into nothing. You lied to me. Vaughn's voice was deathly quiet. I did not. The gun pressed against Liam's temple. Cold metal. Final judgment. You have got 3 seconds to tell me where the real documents are, or I put a bullet in your brain and take my chances. Please. 1. I am telling you the truth. 2. Wait, Liam's voice cracked. My grandmother, Mama Ruby, she knows. My mother told her everything before she died. Vaughn paused. The old woman from the bar. Yes, she is at the hospital. She has got the information. All of it. For a long moment, nothing moved. Liam could feel his heartbeat in his throat, could taste blood and terror on his tongue. Then Vaughn smiled. See? That was not so hard. He lowered the gun. Change of plans, boys. We are going to the hospital. What Liam had just done might have saved his life, but he had also sent the enemy straight toward the people he loved. And somewhere in the distance, growing closer with every passing second, was the rumble of 98 motorcycles coming to bring him home. The van pulled into Detroit General's parking lot just after noon. Visiting hours, families coming and going, normal people living normal lives. None of them knowing that armed killers were walking through the same doors they used. Vaughn grabbed Liam's arm, gun hidden under his jacket but pressed against Liam's ribs, hard enough to bruise. You make a sound, you run, you even look at someone wrong. I put a bullet in the nearest civilian, then one in you. We clear? Clear. They walked through the main entrance, past the information desk, past security who nodded at Vaughn's badge, past the gift shop selling flowers and balloons. The gun never left Liam's ribs. 3rd floor, Vaughn said to Vic. Room 312, how do you know? Because I called ahead, told them I needed to question a witness. They gave me her room number. They took the elevator. Liam watched the numbers climb. 1, 2, 3. The doors opened. The 3rd floor hallway stretched before them. Quiet, clean, fluorescent lights humming overhead. Room 312 was at the end of the hall. Door closed. No guards outside. No bikers. Nothing. Vaughn smiled. Looks like your friends abandoned Grandma. Smart. They know when they are outgunned. He pushed open the door. Mama Ruby sat in the hospital bed, still pale, still bandaged, but awake, alert, those gray-blue eyes fixed on the doorway like she had been expecting them. Hello, detective. Her voice was steady, stronger than it had been 2 nights ago. Hello, Rose? Or should I call you Ruby? I never did know which you preferred. My friends call me Ruby. You can call me ma'am. Vaughn laughed. Still got that fire, even shot and stuck in a hospital bed. I always admired that about you, wolves. Too stupid to know when you are beaten. He pulled Liam forward, gun now visible, pointed at the boy's head. Your grandson here tells me you have something that belongs to me. Documents, original documents that a dead woman hid 22 years ago. Mama Ruby's eyes moved to Liam, held his gaze. And in that look, Liam saw understanding. She knew what he had done, knew he had traded her safety for his own, knew he had led killers to her door. And she was not angry. She was proud. You are smarter than your mother was, Ruby said to Liam. She would have tried to be the hero. You played the long game. To Vaughn, she said, the documents are in the closet. Green duffel bag, behind my clothes. Vic moved to the closet, pushed aside the hospital gown and street clothes Mama Ruby had arrived in. Found the green duffel, unzipped it. Boss, this is it. Files, bank statements, photographs, everything. Vaughn's face split into a grin. 22 years. 22 years I have been looking for this. And it was here the whole time. In a hospital closet. He looked at Mama Ruby. You played me. All of you. The boy. The lockbox. All a distraction while you sat here holding the real prize. Told you, Ruby said. Too stupid to know when you are beaten. The window exploded, not glass breaking, the entire frame. Brick and mortar and reinforced hospital window erupting inward in a shower of debris. And through the hole came a man on a rope, rappelling from the roof. 4 floors up, moving fast. Colt hit the floor boots first, cut the rope, drew a pistol from his vest. All in 3 seconds. Behind him through the shattered window came the sound every person in that room would remember for the rest of their lives. 98 motorcycles, engines roaring in unison, a wall of sound that shook the building's foundation. The Iron Wolves had arrived. Drop it, Vaughn. Colt's voice was calm, the kind of calm that comes before violence. Vaughn spun, gun swinging from Liam toward Colt. Vic pulled his own weapon, aiming at the man who had just crashed through a 4-story window like it was nothing. You are outnumbered, Vaughn said. 2 guns, one of you. Colt smiled. Count again. The hallway door burst open. Not bikers, federal agents, 20 of them. Body armor, rifles, Agent Walsh in front, badge held high. FBI, weapons down, now. The closet door opened, not empty, not anymore. Another agent had been hiding there the whole time. Behind the duffel bag, waiting. The air vent in the ceiling popped open. A third agent, camera in hand, recording everything. Vaughn's face went white. This, he looked at Mama Ruby. This was a setup. You are smarter than your mother was, Ruby repeated, but still not as smart as me. She pulled back the hospital blanket, revealed a wire taped to her chest. Microphone, transmitter. She had been recording since Vaughn walked in. Every word, every threat, every confession. On tape, backed up to 3 federal servers. Walsh stepped forward. Marcus Vaughn, you are under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder, for the murder of Lydia Carter, for corruption of public office, and about 40 other charges that will put you in a federal prison until you die, and you will have plenty of company. This morning we arrested Congressman Brennan, 3 Detroit City Councilmen, 8 Brennan shipping executives. The entire Serpent Syndicate leadership, 22 years of work, all coming down in one day. Cuffs clicked onto Vaughn's wrists, then Vic's. The other agents swept the room, secured the weapons, bagged the evidence. Liam stood frozen, heart hammering, blood still dripping from his split lip, unable to process what had just happened. Then Colt was there, pulling him into an embrace that smelled like leather and motor oil and safety. You did good, son. You brought them right where we needed them. That morning, after you left the bank with the tracker, Walsh came to Ruby, told her the plan. We had 4 hours to set it up. Agents in the closet, in the vent, wire on Ruby. I was on the roof with a rope since noon, waiting, watching, ready to come through that window the second Vaughn pulled his gun. I thought. Liam's voice cracked. I thought I was sacrificing her. You were. Colt pulled back, looked him in the eye. That is what family does. We sacrifice for each other, but we also protect each other. You bought us time. We used it. Mama Ruby's voice cut through the chaos. Boy, come here. Liam crossed to her bedside. She grabbed his face with both hands, pulled him close. Your mother would be so damn proud. You hear me? She spent 22 years protecting you. And today you protected all of us. You are a wolf, blood and bone. The tears came before Liam could stop them. Not the quiet kind. The kind that shook his whole body. The kind he had been holding back since he was 12 years old, standing in a stairwell, watching his mother die. Colt's hand landed on his shoulder. Mama Ruby held his face. And for the first time in 5 years, Liam Carter let himself cry. Because he was not alone anymore. 3 weeks later, the Iron Wolves clubhouse was packed. Every member present. Old ladies, kids, even a few members from the Chicago chapter who rode 8 hours to be there. Liam stood at the front of the room, wearing the leather jacket Colt had given him. But the back was still empty. No patches, no rockers, not yet. Colt stepped forward, in his hand a patch, the Prospect rocker, white letters on black. "This is not because you are my son," Colt's voice carried to every corner of the room. "This is because you earned it. You showed courage when most men would run. You showed loyalty when you had nothing to gain. You proved that Iron Wolf's blood runs deeper than genetics." He pinned the patch to Liam's back. The room erupted, fists pounding tables, boots stomping floor, a chant starting low and building like thunder. Family, family, family. 98 voices, one word. The only word that mattered. Liam turned to face them. His family, his pack, his people. Mama Ruby sat in her wheelchair front and center. Bandages gone, color back in her face, smiling wider than Liam had ever seen. Sienna stood beside her, arms crossed, but grinning. She caught his eye, nodded once. Sister to brother, the next day brought more news. Patricia Holden at Detroit Savings had been cooperating with the FBI for 6 months. Her testimony helped seal the case. The party lasted until dawn. Mama Ruby held court at the head table, telling the story of how Liam dragged her through broken glass, each retelling more dramatic than the last. Sienna challenged Liam to a pool game. Let him win. Barely. Brothers came up one by one, shaking his hand, calling him Prospect, calling him family. Someone played Lynyrd Skynyrd on the jukebox. Simple Man, the song his mother used to sing. Liam closed his eyes, let the music wash over him, let himself belong. Food, music, stories told and retold until they became legend. But eventually the crowd thinned. The music faded. The sun began its slow climb over Detroit. Liam found himself on the roof, looking at the stars that were disappearing into daylight. Orion, his mother's favorite, still hunting, still chasing, still refusing to give up. Talking to her? Colt appeared beside him. 2 cups of coffee in his hands, passed one to Liam. "Yeah, what are you saying? That I made it, that I found what she wanted me to find." Liam took a sip. The coffee was terrible, best thing he had ever tasted, and that I am not running anymore. Good. They stood in silence, father and son, watching the city wake up. Smoke rose from chimneys. Traffic began its morning crawl. Somewhere a church bell rang. "You scared?" Liam thought about it, terrified. Of what? Having something to lose, having people who depend on me, having a home. Colt nodded. That never goes away. The fear. But you know what else never goes away? What? Having people who will fight for you, who will crash through windows for you, who will wait 22 years for you. He put his hand on Liam's shoulder. Your mother gave you life, but the wolves, we will give you a reason to live it. The door behind them opened. Sienna stuck her head out. You two done being emotional? There is still cake. And Mama Ruby says if you do not come down right now, she is coming up there. Colt laughed. Tell her we are coming. Sienna disappeared back inside. Colt turned to go, stopped, looked back at Liam. You coming, son? Liam took one last look at the stars, at Orion fading into the morning light, at the city his mother had run from and died in, the city that had almost killed him, the city that was now home. He touched the prospect patch on his back, felt the stitching, the weight of it, the promise it represented. Yeah, Dad, he smiled. I am coming. They walked back inside together, the door closing behind them, the sound of family waiting below. Laughter, music, the rumble of voices that sounded like home. Outside, 98 motorcycles sat in the morning sun, chrome gleaming, engines silent but ready, waiting for the next ride, the next battle, the next brother who needed saving. Because that is what the Iron Wolves did. They showed up, they fought, they protected their own, and they never, ever left a man behind. The end.